And next we have Truman Elementary.
All right, good evening, everyone. I'm Mrs. Harris, principal at Truman Elementary. This is not my entire campus, I promise. This is part of the leadership team. And in the audience, we do have part of our PTO board supporting us and Ms. Reuter, who constantly is helping with our videos. But with us tonight, helping us with the school improvement plan, I do have Mrs. Melissa Hutton. She is our PTO president as well as a parent. Then we have Mrs. Lonning. She's a third grade teacher, followed by Ms. Williams, another third grade teacher. Mrs. Armstrong is our title reading teacher. Mr. Tharp, third grade teacher. Mrs. Nash is a kindergarten teacher. And Mrs. Haven, our first grade teacher. All of these teachers are part of our PLC team, our professional leadership team, okay? Okay, so this is our school improvement plan placemat. It is very small print. I just wanted to show that we did have that. We will be talking about this more in detail throughout the night, and we will focus on each goal a little bit more thoroughly, okay? Okay, so we will start with parent and community involvement.
Truman Elementary's goal is to increase and improve parent involvement and communication between school and home. Speaking as a parent, we receive a weekly newsletter. We receive messages from Class Dojo, which I personally like because that's like an instant communication between a parent and a teacher if we have any concerns. So that's really nice to have instead of waiting till the end of the day or when they have their planned time for them to pick up and call a parent. We also receive a monthly principal newsletter as well as a monthly calendar from the school. Speaking as a PTO board member, we send out a detailed monthly newsletter, which we just passed out, which is kind of this little yellow sheet here. We also heavily use our Facebook page, which we haven't used in the past, which has been really nice this year. We also try for the first time, we went live on our veterans ceremony, so we live that on our PTO page, so that was nice for parents who were working or weren't able to attend, so they were able to see their children there. We also send out flyers and reminders, and we also use the Remind Me system for daily reminders for that. And we also have a PTO bulletin board outside the board that keeps all of our information on events that are going on as well. The next bullet, which is how PTO communicates closely with the school and community. We also do our parent survey. The parent surveys are given out at parent-teacher conference in the fall and in the spring. We get roughly an average of 120 surveys back, so that's a lot of nice feedback that the principal gets back. She shares that information with her staff, and then she also shares that information at our PTO meetings in December. The last one with fundraising. Truman's fundraising goal at the moment is to add a 4-seater swing set to the playground and also to help purchase school supplies so that next year when kids start school, the only thing that they have to bring to school is a backpack. So that's one of our goals this year. We were really concerned with losing 4th grade this year on how that would affect our fundraising goals this year. But we have, like our most recent fundraiser was our mom fundraiser, which brought in 50% more profit than last year and actually brought in numbers-wise 25% more than last year, and that's with 1 grade level less. So we were pretty excited about that. We also partnered with the other 2 elementary schools and hosted the Rolla Holiday Bazaar, which was a real success. We plan on doing that again next year. And we had a local business, Red Door Gifts, that partnered with the 3 elementary schools last month. And so showing their community support with the elementary schools, they donated a portion of their proceeds from that event to us. We also plan several events throughout the year that are free or at a minimal cost so that we can engage families. We have the Fall Literacy Night, Fall Bingo. We're also hoping to do that in the spring. We just had Fall Bingo last week. Skate night, we have our mother-son dance and our father-daughter dance as well in the school carnival. So those are some things that we're doing. And then this year we're doing the holiday shop for the children, which we've never done anything for Christmas for them. So we're really looking forward to that. We also partnered with the Missouri Humanities Council and helped the pre-K program, where we invited families to come in with the pre-K program to help their parents kind of learn how to read to their children and what the impact it is with reading with their children at home. So that's another way we've helped with our pre-K program, getting them involved with the school. So that's it.
Goal number 2 at Truman Elementary is highly qualified staff, and the goal reads, provide ongoing high-quality professional development based on campus and district needs. So one of our goals is to collaborate as grade levels to utilize best practices and methods. For example, our third grade team, we try to really use that time wisely and be diligent with those days given to us. For what we might do on a day like that is, once we've given a common assessment, a benchmark assessment, or we do mock testing to prepare our third graders for that test at the end of the year, we'll sit down with our data, all 4 of us, look at our strengths and weaknesses. What did our kids do well on? What do we still need to work on? And then which classroom, did a great job with teaching certain skills. And then we devise a plan to move forward on how to remediate or enrich those students and how we're going to differentiate the standards we still have to teach. So we appreciate those days, and I feel like we've made a lot of gains by having that opportunity to work together rather than just working on our own.
And then the second bullet point, we also take advantage of utilizing time on CSD or continuous staff development days to engage with our horizontal teams, which for third grade, that would be other teachers at Truman and Wyman, or excuse me, Mark Twain and Wyman, and then also taking advantage of vertical discussions when we have those opportunities, and that would be for us, that would be second grade and fourth grade. And it's just a great way to use what we've gained from our grade level days and to extend what we've learned throughout the district. What are we doing versus what Mark Twain and Wyman, are doing, and how can we make alterations or additions to what we're doing that can make student outcomes even better than what they are.
This is Instructional Resources. We are going to say 100% of students will utilize different types of available instructional resources to include technology devices to enhance the learning process. So one of the instructional resources that we find very beneficial is the Accelerated Reader Program. Currently, 53% of the students in first through third grade are reading at or above grade level. And while we're thrilled that we have that percentage, we really want to focus on the 47% that are not at grade level. That being said, we have the title department screens all students, and based on the screening, we then give an assessment, and that gives us a percentage combined with their grade level accelerated reader. Then we are able to pull students into small group instruction. It is not to replace classroom instruction, it's supplemental and supportive. And we also have our RTI, which is our response to intervention. We have teachers and staff that are trained by, I guess, was it 5-day, I think? Okay, well anyways, I think it was a 5-day training, and it was very, very beneficial to our instructors. They are working on the 5 essential components of reading, which is phonemic awareness, phonics, vocabulary, fluency, and comprehension. We really feel that with our pathways instruction and our RTI, along with title and the classroom teachers, that we can make all students in grades 1st through 3rd reach 100% with their reading goal. We know this is a rigorous goal, but we feel between our combined efforts that we really can achieve that this year.
Okay, the next goal is on student performance. Our goal is that all Truman students will demonstrate academic growth using common assessments and pre- and post-tests to gather data. Before we get to the data, I wanted to talk a little bit about what we have in common in our building. And if you look at the right-hand side, the grade block there, what we have in common is the leadership. It starts at the district level, central office, and it trickles down. Everyone in our building obviously have the same leadership. Everyone in the building knows our goals. We talk about them with the leadership team. The leadership team goes back and talks to the grade levels, and then we meet again during PLC meetings, and we talk about our district and school goals. The curriculum is the same. Everyone follows the same curriculum. Instructional strategies, we try to share instructional strategies so that you can modify them within your grade levels or for students, modify them for students. And we attend professional development depending on the professional development goal of that individual teacher or the professional development goal according to our school campus goals, our campus improvement goals. Okay, on the right-hand side, we have a tier, and our students obviously are not all at the same level. If you look at the bottom tier, tier 1 in red, means that at least that should be at or above grade level, and that should be about 80% of our students, and they receive regular core instruction. The next tier, the yellow tier, is our students that are reading at or are at 1 year below grade level. These students get targeted instruction, so that's kind of like the title that Mrs. Armstrong just talked about, or tutoring. So that is a smaller group. And then the smallest of all is the green, which is tier 3, and that is intensified individual instruction. And those are students that are 2 or more years below grade level. And those students are usually our special education population, so the smallest of all. In the middle of that slide, we have our input. So what is the school trying to do to achieve our output or our outcome, which is academic achievement? We are going to continue to work on our school climate and culture. We believe that is very important. Number 2 is we have effective instructional staff and instructional practice. We want to make sure that all of our teachers and staff are highly qualified. And number 3, stable and effective leadership and governance. Okay, the next slide shows a little bit of our performance from last school year. This is our MAP performance index, and it's kind of hard to read it from here, but the MAP performance index is a set of numbers that we get rated, the district and each school gets rated by the state, and it shows how we are doing according to where the state is at. So the red bar is where the state is at, their average. And the orange is last year or this school year that we received our data. I can't see it, but I know we're at like 419. Anything above 400 is really considered exemplary scores. So we're very proud because that's not only on MAP achievement, but subgroup achievement and attendance as well. Okay? Our school attendance target, we are hoping to get 96%. We've been trying for 96%. This is the 3rd year. We were at 95.8 overall. I can round that up and say we reached our goal, but it's at 95.8% overall. We do want 93% of our students to attend school 90% of the time. We are not there yet. Okay? This is our 3rd grade MAP scores. The gray represents the state percentage or the state average. And again, I can't see the numbers from here, but you can see that the red was last year's data for our school. We were in the 70s. The previous year we were in the 60s, and our goal was to increase and get at least a 75% in those MAP scores, and we did meet our goal. So this school year we are moving on to the 80%, which is the green bar. I know that the tests may be different and that the standards are changing, but we felt when we talked about it that it just shows that regardless of if it's Common Core or Missouri Learning Standards, we are still going to do what we have to do to make sure that our students are successful. So this proves that what we're doing in the building is working. Okay.
Okay, so I'll be also discussing student performance, but just a little bit different aspect of it, kind of piggybacking on some of the comments that Mrs. Harris made. I'm going to be talking about a committee that I serve on, which is our student assistance team. You'll also hear me refer to that as our SAT team. Our SAT team is just a committee of teachers, varying grade levels. Each grade level has their own representative. A title teacher also serves as a representative, members of the specials, extracurriculars as well as our counselor. The big benefit behind having members of each grade level team, as well as all those other aspects, we get to see those students in all areas of the school, some a little more structured than others. PE versus my classroom might look a little bit different, so we want to make sure that we've got opinions from all of those teachers. But what we do in that committee is we just give additional input, additional support to teachers that have some of those struggling students. Mrs. Harris showed a great tiered model there, and we're kind of targeting those tier 2 students. So those that might need that additional additional support, those additional strategies and interventions, and hopefully bring those into that tier 1 where they're back into the regular ed classroom 100% of the time. We use data-driven decision-making strategies for this 100% of the time. We have teachers that bring in student work samples whenever they bring students to us. Those teachers will provide us with previous year's grades, other assessment scores. We may even lean on parent recommendations for this also. You know, there may be some things that the parents are seeing at home that we don't see at the school that's definitely going to impact their performance. Again, all sources of data that we can use are going to be beneficial. We also feel that providing accurate identification is really the key to what intervention strategies we're going to implement, which is why we have so many teachers that serve on that committee. I may have one opinion, a specialist teacher may have a differing opinion, but again, if we can collectively get that data, examine it, and come up with some kind of intervention strategy that we feel is going to be successful, then that's what we plan to do. It is important to make sure that we discuss that this is not a special education strategy, that this is just an extension of the regular education responsibility. Again, those special education students would be up into that tier 1 on that model that Mrs. Harris discussed. But really in a nutshell, you know, we are a support system. You know, we're a team that offers just that additional support to both teachers and students. A lot of experience comes into play there, and again, with the benefit of seeing that success in students, that's kind of our ultimate goal. Thank you.
I will be talking about student performance as well. 100% of our staff will utilize positive behavior intervention and supports, also known as PBIS, during the school day and co-curricular activities. This is something that we've been doing for many years. We've got new ways and newfound technologies to help us improve this and to go with our parents. The first thing is our PBS team got to attend a conference this summer. It was called Bridging the Gaps Conference, and it was very uplifting, and they came back with lots of ideas and lots of new things. And one of those big things that we did was change our morning room. Every morning, all of our students come to the gym. They line up by classroom, so they line up by their teacher and they have to sit. Well, obviously, we're starting out days with chaos and lots of behavior issues because we've got coats and backpacks and everything flying everywhere. So when the PBS team came back from their summer retreat, they decided that the morning room needed to have some themes, some different ways for kids to interact and not just have to sit still as soon as they get to school because it wasn't working. So each day, there's a different day. We have like Tune Tuesday and Thinking Thursday, where we interact with the kids more. We have things on the projection screen. We listen to music on Mondays, calming things that they can get up and move and not just have to sit still. And that way we can get them in and out and not have as many behavior issues. It's really been well. Every day is the same, so they're getting it one time each week as they go. And when we miss a Friday, Fun Friday, that's a big bummer when there's no school on Friday. Could they come to school Monday? It's Fun Friday. No, it's Monday. It's Music Monday. Oh, and so they do look forward to those things, and especially when it's more fun and they get to go out and play and do those extra things. Another thing that the PBS team decided for Truman to implement was Class Dojo, but we implemented it school-wide. Every teacher has a Class Dojo account. Every student can sign on and have their own account as well, and it's a way for us to gauge positive behavior. So when they go to specials, the specials teacher can give them points based on their behavior in that hour to 30 minutes or hour that they're there. Every class starts out with 3 points, and we call them pause points for positive rewards and praise. They can start with them. If they lose one, they still have 2. So at the end of it, they have their iPad or they have their computer, and they can put those points up there. The kids hear the point, they hear that positive little cling, everybody's getting points. It adds not only to the class total, but to their total. So then when we come back into the regular classroom, I can give individual students more points, and so can the specials teachers. So it's a good way to reinforce as we're doing it. It's fully implemented in the building, everybody has it, but it's not fully implemented to the full potential that it could be, because we wanted to start with just the positive reinforcements and the parent contact. As it was mentioned before, parents can immediately receive a message from the teacher. So if we see a behavior and we give a positive point and we want to put a note, the parent gets that right away based on how they signed up. If it was an email or if it was a text message, they get that immediately. and then they can comment back if they need to. So if we have time, that we're able to sit there and interact and take care of behaviors. On the same side, if there was a misbehavior or a side note that we wanted to talk to the parents about, we can do it right there. So it's immediate feedback. I can send, when we do a project, I can take a picture of my students and I can send it on our class story, and the parents can go through, much like Facebook, and they can like the picture. They can also save it to their phone or to their computer and print it out if it's a picture of their child. Things that you wouldn't always get. In newsletters, we like to try to send stuff, but it's more information than pictures. And this is just another way for us to to involve the parents in the daily activities. I have parents message me back, I'm so glad you send pictures of what they're doing at the day. Just funny things that happen that I would normally snap a picture of and keep in my scrapbook to put at the very end of the year. I'm sending back at real time with the parents, and it's a great tool to have.
I'm going to talk about governance. Our goal is all stakeholders will become part of a collaborative partnership to foster and improve school culture. Our leadership committee attended a conference by Dr. Luis Cruz on school culture, and we found it very valuable to us. There are a lot of things that he said that made sense to us that we felt that our school could run with, they could really improve with. So we came back and we did a presentation for our faculty. And it was very much the leadership committee. It was not one person. We each took a part so that it was teacher-led. We did the faculty survey, because you don't know what to fix if you don't have that feedback. So we did a survey, and we did have it where it was anonymous, because we figured we'd get more honest response if they didn't have to put their name on it, if there was no identifying marks there. And we asked them what their opinion of our culture at school was. Did they feel it was a healthy culture? Did they think it was a toxic culture? Or did they feel that it was both? And then why? What was it that made them think that? And there is a level of trust that goes with that. We as a leadership committee had to trust they were going to take us serious and actually respond in a serious manner. And then they have to trust us that we're going to use that information they give us in a way that's going to help our school grow. And so we took their responses and we met as our team and discussed it. And from that has grown our sharing and teaching. And what that means is each grade level, every time we have a meeting, each grade level and staff, we take turns teaching each other how to help improve our building. We took those areas where our building felt we were struggling and what we needed to do, and we're finding ways to fix it. Rather than just saying there's a problem and not doing anything about it, we're trying to find the solutions to those problems. And we are the ones that, last week kindergarten and special ed were the ones who did this for us. And they took two of the strategies that our building felt we were lacking in, or that we needed more guidance with in order to build a more positive culture in our school. And they gave us suggestions. This is what we think we can do. And there were ideas that were relatable, that were easy. There was nothing in there that was impossible. And it kind of gives the teachers a sense of, we can do this. And we understand that it has to start from leadership down. And so we're trying to help provide opportunities for our faculty and staff to grow and to improve the culture, which of course is going to impact our students as well. We are also looking at doing a book study on the book Kids Deserve It, and that's we're finding the interest now. We're having the teachers are responding if they're interested. It's very voluntary at this point, and we're going to see. It's our first book study. We're not quite like Wyman yet, but we're going to attempt to see it and see what we can do, what we can learn, and how we can continue to grow and build our school into what it's fully capable of being.
Okay, our next slide is a little update on our transition. I must say that it was very smooth, and it was very easy, I say, for the elementary schools. During the transition, it was very easy for us elementary schools compared to the middle school and the junior high school. We pretty much opened up a classroom and welcomed the pre-K students. And they just took over. I mean, just like Dr. Ray had said, they are the most well-behaved students in the entire building. They walk down the hall, you do not hear them. I mean, they're so little that all you see is the bubble and the little, hands waving at you. They're doing amazing things in the classroom. I shared a video today with all of the administrators. They were reenacting the Three Little Pigs, and they did an amazing job. But the transition did not just benefit pre-K. The title teachers also benefited from this transition. They have a classroom with a smartboard and technology, which they did not have that last year. And we also have 3 special education classrooms. Each special education classroom have either 1 or 2 paraprofessionals, and they all work with different disabilities. So it's been very beneficial to the entire community as a whole, the entire Truman community as a whole. So we want to show you a little video. Of course, what would it be, our PowerPoint slide, what would that be without a video? And it's our kindergarten students talking a little bit about 2 of our goals, attendance and school culture. We need volume, I think. Is it on here?
Because you need to learn so you can be better than your parents. Because you have to learn all the stuff that you really want to do, and you have to be smart enough to be in big kids' school. Because then you
Yeah, let's start it again. It was working fine this afternoon, but that always happens.
know why, because you need to learn
It did. We were here. It was working fine.
attendance. And because you need to learn so you can be
It was, I know.
because you have to learn all the stuff that you really want to do, and you have to be smart enough to be in.
I think the volume on the mic is the one that's
Because
getting,
then you can
it's
learn
higher.
and
It's
grow
louder.
up smarter. I know why. Because you need to learn. Because so you can get perfect attendance, and so because you need to learn so you can be better than your parents. Because you have to learn all the stuff that you really want to do, and you have to be smart enough to be in big kids' school. Because then you can learn and grow up smarter. I know why. Because you need to learn. Because so you can get perfect attendance, and so you can learn stuff. You get smarter. So you don't get bad grades. So I can get an award to like for going to school on all the days. So we can learn and help people. So you can learn stuff what you don't know because they need me to learn. Because they don't want to be lonely. Because so I can get perfect attendance and they like me to go to school. Because they want me to get smarter and they want me to learn. You might be sick or something. You might go on a vacation not being at home because you're sick and you have allergies. Because you are sick or you have a weekend. It's when you be kind and respectful. And friends. Bulldogs. Good foodie. Like, I don't know Be fight-free. Be respectful, be responsible, and be honest. Because they want you to be good and stay your best. And don't be lonely at your class. So, like, nobody gets hurt and like that. Because we don't want anybody getting hurt. Because I want to be happy and play with my friends at recess. I can say nice words to my friends, like when they fall down, I say it's okay and stuff. Being respectful. We can make friends. A doctor. George Washington. Coach Reef.
Not wrong.
Okay, that concludes our presentation. Are there any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.